An article popped up across my phone with Speaker Mike Johnson saying that the Medicaid cuts that they plan on doing will only affect those who are abusing coverage. And to that, I say bullshit. The fact that Mike Johnson is talking about even cutting Medicaid in the first place is a testament to how the GOP lies. It's the only thing they know to do.
Medicaid has never been on the chopping block.
I'm not going to vote for Medicaid cuts, benefit cuts.
You will see no cuts in Medicaid payments.
Medicare, Medicaid, none of that stuff is going to be touched.
They talk about Medicaid cuts. Everybody's going to be thrown, according to Democrats, into all these horrible situations. There's only one problem. The word Medicaid is not even in this bill.
The GOP will have you thinking that there is waste, fraud, and abuse going on in Medicare and Medicaid. Their plan the whole time is to destroy it, to gut it, so it can be privatized. If you think it's hard to find health care now, if you think it's hard to be covered now, it's going to be even harder when the only way to get health care is when it goes through a private business that has no competition. This is what I talked about years ago, and you know what they called me? They called me a liar. This is what you need to know about Medicare and Medicaid.
In case you forgot, we pay for Medicare. Yep. Go check your pay stub. We pay for it. So where are the cuts coming from? Where are they going?
If you haven't looked at Trump's billionaire tax cut bill, you probably should take a look. It's 1,000 pages of screwing you over. $4.5 trillion worth of tax cuts for the richest people in society, all while taking $1 trillion out of Medicaid and from hungry kids. In my district, that's about 155,000 people that will see SNAP cuts. So we've got enough money to give the guy who owns both of these a tax cut, but we don't have money to feed our kids or help someone see a doctor. So yeah, Trump's okay with screwing you over in these 1,000 pages. He's got you to pay for the renovations for his new plane.
The people are not okay. They are not okay. Then another person was like, Trump's a liar. They are not doing okay. They wasn't ready. They didn't know that they was going to probably get rejected by their own people like that. They didn't know. They wasn't ready for this. And it's like, we are not new to this. We true to this. Some of them are starting to get a wake up and they new to this and they are not doing well.
Racism and uneducated adults will be the downfall of America in the next 3, 4, maybe 10 years. And the fact that I keep seeing people say no one should receive SNAP from the government, black people should get off their ass and go work, why do you think you should get free health care? And it's like, we need to get to the facts of that. Let me get this straight. You were so racist that you gave a fuck about people on SNAP receiving the ability to buy soda and food with food stamps that you completely missed that your government put tax exemptions for tanning beds in a bill that also cuts your health care? Let's look at the top recipients of Medicaid because, babes, it's not black people. Actually, we're not even the second top recipients of Medicaid or HIP. Surprise, surprise, it's white people. White people in America receive the most distribution of Medicaid and HIP, which is Obamacare. 37% of SNAP recipients are also white. Actually, white men are the top recipients of food stamps. Bet you won't hear that on the podcast. This bill actively is rallying lobbyists so that when you make less than $175,000 a year, you pay more to cover the taxes of those at the top of the top of the top that fucking do.
You know what's crazy to me is where I work, most of the demographic there is MAGA. And a lot of them are on Medicaid, Social Security, and SNAP. And I'm just watching them all, a lot of them are struggling. A lot of them have Social Security rents going up. They come in the office all the time to ask me what I can do to help them. And I'm just looking at them like, well, I tried to help you. I voted on the side that would have helped you continue to get your Medicaid, SNAP, Social Security. But you voted against your own best interest, so not sure what you want me to do at this point. Hey, congratulations. You got what you voted for.
Is there anybody in this kitchen that truly believes in your heart your children are going to have it better in this country than you've had it?
No.
Is there anybody, across the divide, Trump supporter and Kamala Harris supporter, anybody thinks our kids are going to have it better?
No.
I'll tell you, everywhere I go, when I ask that question, the answer is no.
When people say they hope you have the day you voted for, it's bigger than that. It's so much bigger than the day. These policies, these decisions are going to affect the next several years. So y'all thought you all were so narrow-sighted because all you could lock in on was whatever the fuck Trump was saying. And the disengagement of critical thinking and analyzing data and factual information is going to be y'all demise. Because now, not only are you going to get the day you voted for, but the next few years.
What up, my beautiful black people? Welcome to Black People Politics Network. I'm Mr. Red. This big, beautiful bill, but we know that it is the ugliest thing that could happen to the United States of America, particularly and especially us, the American people. I intend to show you a few more clips today about the effects that getting rid of Medicaid and Medicare is going to have on us. I am going to also talk about the tax on overtime going away, how that's a lie. It's a sham that they want you to believe. And most importantly, how this big, beautiful bill is going to actually affect MAGA the most. Stick around for that. Let's strap in. Let's get after it.
The new Republican bill is asking to raise our debt ceiling by $5 trillion. Not only is this unheard of, but it's very perplexing to me because for months, all I've heard is every day, Doge is saving us billions of dollars. Doge is going to save us $1 trillion. Doge is saving us billions of dollars. So if they're saving us so much money, why do we have to raise the debt ceiling a record amount of money? Why do you need so much money if Doge is saving so much? And also, if Doge is finding so much corruption, like it says every day, corruption, why are there 0 arrests?
Back in 2023, Georgia added work requirements to its state Medicaid plans. Last year, to promote the program, Georgia's Republican Governor Brian Kemp released an ad. And it's an ad about a mechanic named Luke Seaborn, who was one of the first Georgians to receive Medicaid from Pathways. Seaborn became kind of a poster boy for the program.
My name's Luke Seaborn, 53, and we've been here at the shop at this place since 2018. I was looking for insurance, low-income insurance, to help my son and I out because we didn't have insurance.
But last week, ProPublica caught up with him to ask him about the Pathways program. And it turns out he is no longer a fan. They wrote this headline to describe the conversation. I'm going to tell you more about it. He became the face of Georgia's Medicaid work requirement. Now he's fed up with it. I mean, the first issue Mr. Seaborn ran into came just a few months after he taped that very ad that you just saw. Seaborn said he had logged his work hours into the online system once a month as was required. But his benefits were canceled after he failed to complete a new form that he said the state had added without adequate warning. And one of the issues here with Medicaid work requirements is all the bureaucracy.
13.7 million Americans are the number of people in this country whose health care are going to be stripped in this bill. I want people at home to understand that Medicaid and the federal matching funds for Medicaid can make up 30 to 40% of some of the state budgets that we have going on back in your home. When you wake up in the morning, you will realize that you voted to defund Planned Parenthood and to take away health care from 13.7 million Americans. And when this country wakes up in the morning, there will be consequences to pay for this.
70% of Medicaid and Medicare is covered by the federal government. If they send Medicaid and Medicare coverage back to the states, we'd have to stop giving our federal taxes. Every state would have to hold some of that federal tax to be able to make up for the gap of the 70% they're supposed to be covering. Medicaid and Medicare getting cut is not going to just impact the people who are receiving it. All of us, me included, who has private healthcare insurance through my job, all of us are in trouble because their healthcare system's expenditure is being supported by Medicaid and Medicare. Organizations all over the nation are going to have to close without being able to bill for Medicaid and Medicare patients, meaning those of us who have private insurance will have less access to care. There will be less professionals. More healthcare professionals will be laid off. More acute hospitals will close. And if you know anything about the healthcare system, there's already a huge barrier in access of care for those who are low income and live in rural areas. Funny enough, mostly Trump supporters.
I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it. I said, you know what? Medicaid cuts aren't going to last long because nursing homes are going to go out of business. And nursing homes aren't going to go out of business. Nursing homes are one of the most privatized healthcare platforms in America. Anywhere from $300 to $600 a day per bed. And Medicaid pays for 70% of all the nursing homes in the entire country.
There are a bunch of idiots who have convinced more idiots that they're actually working in their favor when they're not. This bill, when it passes, because we know that when it goes onto the House, they're going to vote for it. And then when it goes to the Senate, they're probably going to vote for it. So when this passes, you guys are going to see that this is fucked up.
You all ever notice how everything that the GOP does, that these Republicans do, is cruel, it's insensitive, it hurts regular people. I want you to realize that if you are not rich, if you are not in the top 1%, they don't give a shit about you. This is the biggest transfer of wealth in history, aside from the last time that Trump was in office. We can sit here and talk about FAFO, but this is going to have real life implications. People are going to lose lives. Matter of fact, people have already lost lives because of Trump's inaction, because of Trump's lack of leadership. And I don't think that's going away anytime soon.
FEMA's there to provide aid and relief when disaster hits, whether it's an earthquake, whether it's a tornado, whether it's a hurricane, whether it's a fire. That agency is critical as a response to helping people get through that.
A sad story developing now. DOGE cuts to the National Weather Service have caused massive coverage gaps in Kentucky as a violent tornado struck the state last night. The National Weather Service office in Jackson, Kentucky, for example, no longer had a permanent overnight forecaster as a result of job cuts by DOGE. And now we are hearing that at least 14 have died due to the storms in Kentucky.
So when someone says zero tax, no tax, right, you expect, and we all should expect, zero tax. Well, on the bill, it doesn't say zero tax. It says that at the end of the year, you are going to be giving a deductible. What that means is that every check, you're still going to get money taken out. But at the end of the year, you might get it back. But you have to qualify. You're still going to get payroll tax. Social Security, Medicaid, that's still getting taken out. So you're still getting taxed. No tax means zero, but you're still going to get taxed.
And now you have the GOP out here bragging about getting rid of taxes on overtime pay. Like that's some kind of gift to the working class. But here's the catch. It only sounds good until you look closer. Yes, overtime pay might not be taxed federally, but it still counts towards your total income. That means it can push you into a higher tax bracket, which affects how the rest of your income is taxed. And guess what? It doesn't touch your Social Security, Medicare, or state income taxes. Those deductions, oh yeah, they're still coming out. And here's the real kicker. Many employers may use this as an excuse to reduce base pay or limit full-time hiring, knowing they can lean more on part-time and overtime shifts to save money. The working class ends up hustling harder, more hours, more wear and tear, but not really keeping more in their pockets. So while it looks like a win, it's more of a mirage, a shiny object meant to distract us while they gut Medicaid and slash food assistance. Don't fall for it, y'all.
This big, beautiful bill that just passed the House of Representatives is going to impact the very Americans who voted for Donald Trump the most in last year's election. Your white, uneducated male voters and your white, uneducated female voters. That very voting bloc, that demographic group, is the highest recipients of government aid. Medicaid, SNAP benefits, food stamps, you name it, government housing. They are the highest recipients of these programs. And this bill is doing everything in its power to strip the very people who voted for Donald Trump of those benefits. Not African Americans, not Latino Americans, and not even your Asian Americans. Those Americans. We tried to put y'all on game last year about what the real deal was, but you guys couldn't get past your own prejudice and vote for Kamala Harris. And so now you guys are left in a far worse position than what you started off in.
I just need y'all to be reminded that you pay into Medicare. Did you hear what I said? You pay into Medicare. I don't want us to argue about this. There is no left, there is no right, there is no GOP, there's none of that. And if you are gainfully employed at this very moment, I want you to go and look at your pay stub and you will see the deductions that are taken out of your paycheck before you get your money. And so since you are paying into Medicare and they are looking to cut $500 billion in Medicare with this new, big, beautiful, fabulous, gorgeous bill, please understand that if you are paying into Medicare and they cut Medicare, where in the hell are they getting the the money to cut it from?
This wasn't intended to be a F around and find out video, because people getting hurt by Medicaid and Medicare being stripped and being reduced isn't a good thing for America. However, it's crazy to me that the people who voted for this asshole to be in the office are going to be affected by it most. While they meant to hurt other people, they themselves are going to feel the pain. They are going to watch others suffer. And you know what? Some of them are okay with it. We'll talk about that in another video. But I want to also remind you, you pay into this stuff. They make it seem like you're getting some benefit that you don't deserve. But remember, everyone who is in Congress and in the Senate, they have health care. They can go to a doctor and they are covered. I'm retired military. I can go and get health care service. What about you? Do you have to pay for a private insurance company? This is what they voted against. For you all who decided not to vote, for you all who stood on the sidelines, I'm going to let this black woman here tell you her thoughts about you and your actions.
This message is for my voters who did not show up in the 2024 elections or their local elections. This message is for the Democrats are the same as the Republicans. This message is for the my vote doesn't matter. We are in this mess due to people not showing up to vote, due to people claiming that these people are the same, the GOP is the same as the Democrats, due to people saying that their vote doesn't matter. This is what happens when you have a supermajority of one particular party. There is no checks and balances. So now they're passing this bill that can strip away so many benefits for the American people, all because people thought they didn't have a dog in the fight because their vote doesn't matter. Or they thought that the Democrats were the same as the Republicans. And we can clearly see that's not the case. Y'all were just being stupid and obtuse. And we can clearly see that the majority of the people that voted for these people were voting based off of hatred and not common sense, and how this would negatively impact them as well.
First off, thank you to everyone who watched this video from beginning to end, who watches more than one video. That support allows this channel to continue to grow. And even though YouTube has demonetized this channel, I also want to thank everyone who has contributed via our Cash App. It is helping us to continue to pump out content that YouTube will not be able to stop once we're able to appeal this. So thank you. Also, watch this next video right here. It is a great video and you're going to enjoy it. It is going to keep this conversation rolling, and I look forward to hearing from you.